Before we start off with today's video, I want to talk to you guys about my friends over at So Avant-Garde. So Avant-Garde is a place where you can go and you can explore a wide range of niche perfumery, so much variety. They have discovery sets, they have samples, they have a lot to offer for those looking to elevate their collection, those who are curious about other things, of other qualities, of other brands in perfumery. All right, so save yourself some money. Use my code DEDRICK10. DEDRICK10 gets you 10% off on anything on So Avant-Garde. All right, so I know a lot of people are really in love with the brand of Mind Games as well. So I got something for you too. You want to head over to Mind Games and do some discovery, do some searching, do some looking, save yourself some money by using Dedrick10 as well over at mindgames.com. All right, so head over there, see what you like, see what you're interested in. I recommend sampling. All right, and then you can get your good feel if you want to make a purchase from So Avant-Garde or mindgames.com. All right, so y'all check it out. Let me know what you guys get into, what you guys like. Let me know down below in the comments, man. And happy exploring for sure. All right, let's get started with today's video. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy. One more time, DEDRICKHJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. Smell good, family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. Positive energy, positive vibes. Y'all know how we rock out here on this channel, man. Positive vibes only. All right, so we are knocking on the door to 20,000 subscribers. Super exciting, super humbling as we approach that milestone, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have some live streams, some giveaways. Just really looking forward to the opportunity to celebrate with you guys, give back, and show as much thanks as I possibly can for this incredible journey with you guys. All right, but we have some time till we get there, and hopefully we'll be there soon enough. All right, so today's video is based on a conversation. All right, had a conversation with a few of the homies, and it's basically talking about like your, I was asked, have you ever been somewhere where you got a compliment like after the fact, like when the event was over or where you were over? And I said, yeah, I've had that happen before. And my homeboy was like, it's like the elephant in the room. Like, people are so prideful with themselves. They might smell somebody or smell something that smells good or see somebody who looks good, but they won't say anything because they don't want to be the one to break the ice or be that guy or that girl. So it got me to thinking, do I have any fragrances in my collection or anything that I've worn that would amount to a list that would make me put me in a position where I have been the elephant in the room? All right, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced something like that, where after the fact, whether it was an event or a date or you were hanging out or just something after the fact where you were then complimented later on. I've had it happen to me, and I have 5 fragrances that pretty much have given me that experience. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First fragrance, I remember this one very, very clearly, from the house of Parfums de Marley. We have the very popular fan favorite, we have Carlisle. I know a lot of y'all thought I was gonna say Leighton, but we have Carlisle. So what about this one, man? I was at a tailgate party, right? Tailgate party for a football, Jaguar football game down here in Jacksonville, and this was my fragrance of choice. So moving in and out, outside and out of the tent. It was cooler out, beautiful day, and the very next day, I had one of my partners reach out to me, say, man, we had a good time. We just texting back and forth about the game. He said, by the way, what was you wearing? Like, everyone was just smelling you. And I was like, really? No one said anything, and I wasn't expecting a compliment, but when you hear that people were talking about how you smell, but no one had something to say, that was rather interesting. And I told him what it was. I guess he looked it up. He was like, oh, too rich for my blood. All right, when he looked it up, he said, but bro, you smell real good at the tailgate. So this is one where, obviously, I turned out to be an elephant in the room because no one asked me what I was wearing. I would have told them no problem. But this is a great fragrance. You guys love it. That green apple, that saffron, that tonka bean, that rose. Just a lot of beautiful, beautiful notes that make up, in my opinion, this DNA has been used from Mancera and, you know, Argos and you know, Carolina Herrera with this tobacco and apple, or tobacco and fruity type of combination. This is done really well as well, and quite possibly you could be the next elephant in the room if you have not already by wearing Parfums de Marley Carlisle. Definitely an elephant in the room fragrance for me, for sure. All right, next up, let's go to the office. I wore this to the office when I first got it in. It was a very highly discussed fragrance upon its arrival, and I can't wait to spin it again when we get to the fall and the winter. But upon my first wearings of this fragrance, I did wear it to the office, and I was complimented days later and wanted to know, and I had to think about what was I wearing. Like, what was I wearing when, like, I was asked, like, what were you wearing the other day? You kind of smell like a spicy flower. I said, a spicy flower? I said, okay, well, I'll take that. And what was I wearing from the house of Zaharoff? We went with what we were wearing, Hafete Signature Black Rose. Hafete Signature Black Rose. And indeed, this is pretty much that. It is a spicy rose fragrance. The very interesting note of black rose. You get some spices here. You get a little zingy citrus bergamot in the opening, some oud. To me, this is a rose masterpiece. It's a rose masterpiece, and as time goes on, as I continue to smell it, I gain more and more appreciation. This is a masculine rose fragrance, masculine floral. Ladies can wear it too, but in my experience, one of the young ladies who I work with, she was off for a couple of days. She came back, I was still there working, and she was like, hey, what were you wearing on, I think it was, I wore it on a Tuesday, she asked me on a Friday or something like that. And I was like, well, talk to me. What? She said, no, you smell really good. It's like a spicy flowers, something like that. So I log my fragrances because I do the weekly rotation video every week, so I don't want to forget. So went to my phone Monday. Couldn't remember if it was this or something else, but it definitely was this. And there was a small conversation held about that. So this fragrance was the elephant in the room, because she said she smelled me all day long every time I walked by, but she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything, but her and her friend were with her when they were coming back from lunch. And she was like, hey, Mr. D, real quick. I said, what's up? And then we got to talking about this. So again, I am the cologne guy at work. Most of you probably are as well at your job, but this was an elephant in the room situation from the house of Zaharoff. We have Hafete Signature Black Rose. One of the more unique rose fragrances and one of the more unique releases, I would say probably in quite some time. This is really, really good stuff. Not for everybody. Sample. All right. Up next, man, I had one of my homeboys not only threaten me if I didn't tell him what I was wearing, because I got this joke with him where I'm like, nah, bro, I can't tell you. We do it to each other. And he's a frag head too. And but this particular fragrance, he made it very, very clear. And what am I talking about? From the house of Nazar fragrances. Yes, we went with Black Leopard. Black Leopard, yes. So wore this fragrance to work again. It was a casual dress down day. God, this stuff is so good. This sweet orange, cinnamon, tobacco, vanilla combo here that Terrence has created is beautiful. Well, long story short, I got a phone call from one of my co-workers, and he said, look here, man, what were you wearing? And he, matter of fact, he kind of hinted, you know, okay, so we're talking. And, you know, I told him, I said, bro, you smell good, bro. Smelling good. What you got going on? Very early in the morning, we meet up, sipping some coffee in the break room. And he was like, yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, you know, what you wearing something a little different, ain't you? But I wouldn't tell him what it was. And I was like, nah, you know how it is. And this is a game that me and him play. And later on that afternoon, after we got off work, he called me. He said, listen, bro, what were you wearing? I'm dead serious. What was that? I said, what you like? What's up? So he like, man, hey, you smell really good. Never really smelled anything like that before. I was trying to pick it up. What is it, like a Guerlain? And I'm like, nah, bro, not a Guerlain. I went ahead and told him. I said it's from Nazar Fragrances. He had never heard of it. And then he kind of thought to himself, yo, was that the stream you was on? Because he follows the channel. Shout out to all my team that shows love on the channel. And I said, yeah, we did the live stream. So I told him what it was. He copped him a bottle that day, and he wore it to work like a couple of weeks later. And he was like, yo, you ain't got on Black Leopard, do you? Like, as we were walking up to each other, said, nah, I don't. So this was a fragrance that captivated him. Definitely was one of those elephant in the room scenarios, because he didn't want to flat out ask me. He was insinuating, but his fragrance did its job by creating that type of atmosphere where definitely was smelling it. I was smelling good. This was smelling good, but he just didn't want to ask for pride reasons. You know what I mean? So shout out to my homeboy, man. You know who you are, watching from the house of Nazar Fragrances, Black Leopard. Nazar has a great house, so many different to choose from. Use my code King Dedrick15. Everything's in the description. Nazar Fragrances, a lot to choose from for sure. All right, next up from the house of Terre Hermes, hey, we have Terre Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. Now this one was a different conversation. So a few of my partners in the office, most of these are about work except the last one, but most of my partners are in the office coming through, and everyone wants to talk to me. Someone at some point throughout the day wants to talk fragrance, right? So a couple of weeks went by, and I was actually wearing Bleu de Chanel Parfum, and I got complimented. And then one of my partners was like, well, yeah, I'm glad he wearing that, because that other one almost took me out. I was like, what is D wearing? He was like, it didn't smell bad. You smell good, but it was strong. It was strong. And I was like, was it loud? He was like, no. It was just a stronger fragrance. And the Eau Intense Vetiver, as I say all the time, is for the dog. So I guess it was so imposing, he didn't want to ask. Maybe he thought he was going to offend me or something like that, which he wasn't, because I'm fully aware. This is a 3-spray fragrance, man, when I wear this to the office. 3 sprays, boom, 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 and we're going to work because of the projection and the sillage and everything that this has going on. It is strong, but I love it. I think it's a masculine masterpiece, 10 out of 10 masculine fragrance. And the conversations was, what was that? Like, what's in it? I told him, you did it with some bitter oranges, some bergamot, some tart bergamot, some black pepper, some vetiver, and some woods and different things like that. So this is a fragrance of curiosity. I wouldn't necessarily say I was complimented. So I was complimented on Bleu de Chanel, but they wanted to know what was I wearing a week ago. And this was it. Strong. I went back to my video actually. And I already knew exactly what it was, just to make sure. But again, this is an elephant in the room fragrance for me, maybe for you too, because it is definitely a polarizing, interesting, but very good scent. From the house of Hermes, we have Eau Intense Vetiver. Terre Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. All right. And last but not least, this particular fragrance here, it's just a showstopper, man. It's a showstopper, no doubt, and out and about on a Saturday evening, and just having a good time, chilling with the homies, and just chopping it up. This was the fragrance for sure that, as the winter was ending, the spring was approaching, those winter evenings are still magic for something like this. So hooking up with the fellas and just kind of kicking it. This was the fragrance where, again, I think it was maybe that Monday or that Tuesday. We got a group chat. We're hitting in the chat. That Monday or Tuesday, 2 of them wanted to know what I was wearing, because they had never smelled nothing like that before. Because of course we were talking cologne. From the house of Tom Ford, we got Tobacco Oud. This is another very good to great to almost masterpiece, if not masculine wise. Tobacco Oud. It's like this, almost this ambery, tonka, like, I want to say sweetness, but sweetness kind of sweetens it up a bit. I don't even know if that's a note, but that's what my nose picks up. But I definitely get the tobacco and definitely get the oud. This is something where confidence is key. The way that you're dressed, the way you are groomed, how you step out. out to where you're going. This is something like if you're just hanging out, cigar lounge, you're meeting up at a, sports bar, it's kind of cooler out. You're still wearing, the peacoats, the hoodies, the jackets, or different things like that. Colors are in place with the blacks, the dark browns, the dark blues, the dark greens. This is something that you wear, and this is something that could warrant a conversation, but the conversation didn't happen until a few days later in our group chat. So told them what it was, get picked on. They screenshot, hey, bro, you wearing this type of fragrance? But I let them know it was a gift. So shout out to my man Chris. He gifted me this fragrance, and that was even worse in the group chat, trying to figure out what Tom Ford Tobacco Oud is. And one of my partners, I did give him a small decant of this out of this bottle, because he was just like, yo, I ain't trying to spend that money. But is there any way I can have a decant? And of course, I bless my guy with the decant. He's holding it until it gets cooler again, because, hey bro, so where should I wear this? What would be, we have those conversations. So definitely another elephant in the room fragrance situation, Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. It's one of those ones. I will be using this very sparingly, but it's something that I highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. I'm not guaranteeing you a compliment, but you could be in an elephant in the room situation where days or weeks could go by and somebody might say, hey, remember the other night? What exactly were you wearing? It was smelling really, really good. Very curious to know. It happens to me, and I know it happens to you guys for sure. So here we go, Tom Ford Tobacco Oud to wrap up this list. All right, so let me know down below in the comments, have you guys ever been in a elephant in the room situation with your fragrances? Maybe somebody wanted to know a week later, the next day, or whenever, what were you wearing? And do you think to yourself like, oh, why didn't you just ask me then? Why didn't you just ask me then? But I get it. As human beings, as people, some of us don't want to impose or seem weird or anything like that. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. All right, so I thought it was something I could take and make some content out of, and hopefully you guys were able to rock out with the video, because I know you guys have been in that situation, especially all my enthusiasts out there who have collections and acquiring fragrances and have a real love and passion for the art of fragrances for sure. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up. All right, hit the subscribe button and be the next member of the Smell Good family, and we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, so y'all know what it is. Positive energy, positive vibes. Take care of yourselves, man. For sure, for sure, for sure. Spike up, spike it out, spike that thing all around. And remember, what you put out to this world is exactly what you are going to get back. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. Make sure you're good. Go get checked out. Make sure things are all in well, because you just never know. All right, so take care of yourselves. Put in that work, man. Be the example for somebody who might need it. All right, so peace, splacker. See y'all on the next one. Splatter.